Did they literally rename Craftworks to Arts and Crafts? Okay, I understand that they have to change the names and the subtitles because of copyright, but holy crap, like, Cell's standability being called Arts and Crafts is pretty freaking hilarious. Like, that legit gave me a laugh, and I know it shouldn't have, but it gave me a laugh just to see what the name of his copyrighted name stand was. But anyways, so this episode dives in to Mista. If you're an individual that loves Mista, for instance, if you read the manga and you know how he is, you're going to love this episode seeing it animated. And if you're an anime only and you already like Mista as a character with him being superstitious and all that about the number 4 and stuff, then you're going to obviously love this episode. Mista is the entire spotlight within this episode, and he definitely showcases why he's one of the, favorites of Part 5 of JoJo. Mista, he is not a normal character in this part. What I mean is when you look at, like, all the other individuals, like when you look at, Leon, or you look at, Giorno, or Bruno, etc., etc., what we've seen already, many of the cast members are very intelligent, and I'm not saying that Mista isn't intelligent, but they typically love to really overthink things, love to put so many different, ways things could go down in their mind, and it can overcomplicate a lot of issues, which you saw in the previous episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5. And Mista is more of a breath of fresh air compared to everyone else. He is someone that is intelligent, obviously, for what he did in this episode, but he also is someone that's very simple. He's very simple-minded. He is someone that, goes with the flow, and he's someone that doesn't really care to have, crazy things, think crazy things. He just wants to go about his day and just be happy, basically. And it's honestly, in some ways, kind of comparable to Kira and how the man just didn't want to stand out. He just wanted a peaceful life or whatever. But, anyways, jokes aside, Mista, he is someone that clearly in this episode, he definitely is not someone you can look down upon. He is not someone that you think, even though he doesn't like to overthink things, that he's dumb. Because he proved himself. He proved that he truly knows how to take down opponents, and with his simple thinking, he can still bring down people that are obviously very strong. Which, let's look at Cell for a second. Cell, as an individual, when you look at him and, how early on we are in JoJo Part 5, obviously the individuals that our characters are going to face, they're not going to probably be as ridiculous as, the in-game villains or final fights of Part 5, or how any JoJo part goes. But the point still stands, though, is that Cell's standability is very, very unique and strong. It's straightforward, but it's strong. And it's very interesting with how Araki actually went out of his way to show just what its limitations were and how unique it really was. Let's look at what he used. His ability was to make sure things are, stuck into one location. So, for instance, if, Cell was to throw a bunch of rocks, he could kind of keep them in the place where they're at. They can't move, and he can legit use those to rock climb all the way up to a surface. So he can legitimately, scale a mountain just by rock climbing up it very easily, just making himself like a staircase. And if he gets too far away from said individual objects that he, has stuck, obviously it'll deactivate, and the effect on them will wear off and they'll fall back to the ground or whatever. So the point is that even though he has a limited range, there's a lot of things he can do with it. Probably things that we didn't even really get to see in this episode that, honestly, if he was to really train and think about it, he'd probably do some ridiculous stuff. I mean, let's think about how he uses, kinetic energy to be able to amplify the bullet's damage or how fast it'll go, launch something at an individual. He was sitting there tapping a bullet over and over and over again, and it seems very simplistic, which it is, but the thing is that something so simple is incredibly deadly. Just imagine something, okay? Imagine if, somehow the man was given enough time to just watch a said individual, and he was just to hit it enough times, any said object, like a bullet, it would build up so much force that it would be probably so fast, it would probably break the laws of physics itself if he hit it too many times, which is kind of ridiculous. He also says that he needs to hit it in a very limited amount of times, like he needs to hit it slowly, because if he hits it too quickly, it's going to just completely go off direction and, have a trajectory somewhere completely else. So he does admit that he needs to be very cautious with how much he hits it, but it's very powerful. So I do like how his stand is used in this part of the series, and I think many are really going to appreciate just how awesome this fight really was. It kind of sets a standard for Part 5 JoJo, honestly. Like, the action within this episode obviously was really good, but just the amount of thinking that the characters had within their mind to overcome each other, and just how great it was done by David Productions. I think this, like I said, sets a standard for what we should expect going forward in the future for JoJo Part 5, because honestly, this is a very minor fight. Like, in the grand scheme of things of Part 5 JoJo, this is a very minor segment of Part 5, but I'm very glad to see that there was just so much, like, quality put into this episode that really amplified the experience for anime-onlys and manga readers such as myself. I'm just very, very pleased. So getting into Mista as an individual, we see how he's able to overcome Cell's, stand ability by just, honestly, a lot of good luck. Like, the man lucked out. But at the same time, he did think about how to win, which, let's get into that. So, basically, Cell's ability to stop anything from, like, touching his body. Like, for instance, if a bullet was coming at him, and it entered his skin a little bit, his ability would completely stop it, so it wouldn't go too deep into his body and mess him up. So, for instance, if he was to get shot in the hand, it would, like, stick, like, right in his hand, and it wouldn't go too far to where it would completely mess him up. So that is technically how it seems like his stand was very strong. But Mista was able to figure out that if you hit the object that is lodged within him, because of how objects work and how you could still mess with it if another object hits it, if another bullet hits that bullet that was stuck within him, it would push it even further. It would stop, but it would push it even further, which you see used against him, and that is how Cell hits the ground and he loses, which I think is just really cool, and it shows how violent, once again, Part 5 JoJo really is. It's very different compared to what we're normally used to in JoJo, which, don't get me wrong, JoJo is a violent series. It has a lot of action, a lot of crazy things that go down within fights. I mean, let's think about what happened to Iggy and all that. I mean, we saw some really messed up things in this series, but it just really sets a different tone compared to what we are used to in JoJo, because Part 5 just has so much violence, so much going on. You're like, holy crap, like, honestly, like, Araki really wanted to kind of make this part very, very dark compared to what it was in the past. Now, one other thing to get into, let's also talk about Mista's bad luck, too. Like, the number 4 and what happened. So the man, he had 4 bullets left, and he's like, oh, this is bad luck. And he's like, I wish it was only 3 bullets left. And you're thinking to yourself, like, why would you hope that there's only 3 bullets left when 4 is technically better than 3? But as you remember, Mista, he's superstitious. He doesn't like the number 4. Anything to do with number 4, he's like, nope, 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 nope. So 3 bullets are a lot better. And it's hilarious that the man was hoping he had less bullets to be able to take down Cell, because then he wouldn't have an unlucky number. I just think it's really cool by how, once again, Mista's character interaction can really make for some, hilarious moments within his mind. And you gotta imagine, like, the scene with his flashback when the man was just dodging bullets like crazy, which is honestly like some stormtrooper level aim, what those dudes were doing against him. All these bullets he shot at him missed, but the only bullets to really hit him was his own bullets, which, like I said, is hilarious to think about. So the only thing that really has harmed him from what we've seen is just his own ammo. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much about it when it comes to the episode. It's a great episode. I mean, I guess the one thing to talk about would be the truck driver. I felt kind of bad for the truck driver. The poor man just wanted to, do his, deliveries and stuff. Obviously, that got completely ruined thanks to Mista and Cell. And then towards the end, Giorno just walks. He's like, take me to the top of the hill. I need to find my friend. I think it's just very funny. I feel bad for the truck driver basically becoming a taxi service. But yeah. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below, because for some reason, even if you click the subscribe button, you don't always get notified for whenever a video is uploaded onto the channel. So if you do want to get notified, like I said, bell icon down below. And this goes for all YouTubers out there, not just me, but all YouTubers. So if you have other YouTubers that you like on the platform, not just me, then also do it for them as well, because it'll help us all out, because somehow you got to double subscribe anymore. But I love you guys. Be safe. Chibi out.